Hi there, I'm Michelle Rakowski, creator of Hack Divorce, and today I want to talk to you guys about stability. I must get a handful of phone calls every single week from people who are in distress because they've made the decision to do separation or divorce, and their number one concern, as many parents is to keep the kids stable. So they then break into this discourse about, well, I have to find a way to keep the house and I have to stay close to the kids' school and all of these things that they want to do in order to keep stability in place for the kids. Of course, the biggest one is the house one. And I often find people who don't have the ability to maintain a house on their own trying to grasp at any kind of strategies they can possibly put together in their heads for figuring out how they can buy the other party out so that they can keep the kids in the house. So this is a noble thing. We all want stability for our children. We care about them, we love them, and we know that stability is the best thing to guarantee a fairly reasonable outcome, mental and emotional stability for them as they move forward into their adult lives. However, I'm going to challenge that idea today, okay? Stability for our kids doesn't come from over-mortgaging ourselves to the point where we go into financial distress or choosing to stay in a location that's going to bring more harm to us than good because we live too far away from work or we don't have family support or whatever. Now, I'm not saying that those things don't bring a measure of stability because they certainly can. Staying in the same house, going to the same school, having the same friend groups, all of those things are important. But the number one most important thing for bringing stability into your children's lives is you. Okay, so this I cannot stress enough. If you're stable, the kids are going to observe that and they're going to learn how to integrate that into themselves and into how they do life. So I want you to really, really focus on bringing yourself into stability, okay? Not contingent on the things outside of yourself, but contingent on the things inside of yourself. If there's ever been a time where you really need to work on yourself, this is it. You're going through separation and divorce. So I want you to think about the things that you need to do in order to bring yourself into stability. You're clearly going to have some emotional upsets. You're going to have times when you just don't feel like doing stuff. And that's okay. Thinking this through before those moments happen is really important because it allows you to piece together a narrative that you can share with the kids, such as, you know what, guys, I know that we had thought we would go for that walk around the lake today and get the ice cream, but I am so tired after working all day long. And I feel like in order to take care of myself and to be the best parent that I can be for you and going into tomorrow and the rest of this week, I actually need to take some time off for myself tonight. But we are going to do that thing. We're just not going to be able to do it tonight. Okay, so something like that, demonstrating self-care to your kids, because when we take care of ourselves, we bring ourselves into a more neutral state of being and maybe even a more positive state, which would be really good too. So we're modeling to our kids, this is how you take care of yourself when you're feeling unstable. Monitoring your emotions, knowing how to shift them. This is super important. I think that a lot of people feel that they don't have any control over their emotions, and maybe in a sense we don't. When we get kind of blindsided by things, especially negative emotions in particular, we can often get overtaken with them. So we need to have the fullness of that experience of our emotions, and it's important that occasionally our kids see this as well, because if we don't take care of our emotions properly, they get repressed, and then they can start to manifest in bodily symptoms and in mental symptoms. So we want to avoid those kinds of scenarios from happening. So knowing how you transition from a state of hopelessness or sadness or anger is really important. Some people need to get very vigorous physical activity in. Some people need to just watch a TV show that's funny or completely takes their mind off of the situation. Calling up a friend, and talking with them can often shift our perspective enough that we can get off and feel in a better state. As a matter of fact, I would propose that doing that sort of thing might even help a person move out of that scenario, like I was sharing earlier when we first started here about not being able to go out for the walk with the kids and get ice cream. Well, maybe if you give a friend a phone call and say, I'm in a pretty crummy state of mind right now and I need some help just to see a little bit through this and some encouragement, maybe you get off that phone call and you're feeling better. And all of a sudden it's like, you know what, guys, let's head out. Let's go do something. Okay. So show your kids how you stay stable and how you manage instability, because this is really important. Okay. Everything you go through when you're going through divorce and separation can be a learning field, not only for yourself, but for your children as well. So I want you to take these opportunities. I want you to think through them clearly. I want you to recognize that, yes, the material things outside of ourselves and even the relationships outside of ourselves do bring a measure of stability to us. And they also can bring a measure of stability to our children. But ultimately, hard things happen in life. They really do. Hard stuff happens to everybody, whether they're going through divorce or separation or something else. It could be the loss of a loved one. It could be having to move far away. There are so many things that could possibly bring us into a state of instability, but if navigated properly, can actually be made into things that became very positive in our life. So that's my big challenge to you. How can you reframe the things that you thought would bring instability into your children's life into something that could become positive, and also showing them how the most important thing you can do is create that stability inside of yourself, because the stability that's inside of yourself, nobody can take that away. Okay, nobody can come up and, they could try to say something or they could try to do something to you, but if you've worked on yourself a lot, then you're going to be able to stay stable there. As opposed to people being able to come up and take your home away, or you might have to move out of the area. There are some things we don't have control over, but we always have control over what's inside of ourselves. So this is a really important life lesson for you and for your kids. And guys, I'm going to tell you, you're going through a really tough situation right now. Milk it for all it's worth, for everything you can learn through this, for every way you can make yourself better, for every way you can help your children become better people. Difficulties and tragedies make us better if we walk through them in the right kind of way. And we have to really tune into who we are and to our own design, okay? So, different personalities handle things in different ways, but every personality style can figure out a way to overcome the struggles of things like feeling unstable or being overtaken by anxiety and emotions. Everybody has a way that they can work through this and walk through this. And you as parents can take those things that you're learning and you can extrapolate them to your children, and you can even figure out ways to make them work in your own children's individual personalities. So, yes, this is a hard time, but it can also be a really good time. And your kids are going to grow up. They're going to encounter their own difficult situations in life, and they may not even be relationship related. They might be school related or some sort of an achievement that they're trying to get, and things will come into their lives that will try to destabilize them. But because you took the time now to model to them how to get that internal stability, they now possess that skill also, and they can walk themselves through. And trust me, when you take the time to build the stuff into your kids as they get older, they're going to become outstanding. They're going to be the kids who teachers are going to say to you, your kid just seems to be able to handle stuff in such a remarkable way, in such a level of maturity that I don't see in other kids. And you're going to be thinking to yourself, yep, and it was bought at a pretty high price. But you know what? When you see those kids grow up and they're out in the world and they're thriving in a way that other kids are just still struggling with because they didn't walk through this hard stuff when they were younger, you're going to have something to be grateful for. You're building a platform up under them now, something that's going to stick with them for the rest of their lives and help them to be successful. So Good on you. All right, that's all I got for today, guys. But if you enjoyed this and you want to learn more about ways to help yourself and your kids navigate through the difficulties of divorce and separation, then click the subscribe button below, and I'm going to give you guys a lot more stuff in the coming days and weeks. All right, thanks for watching. Take care. See you soon.